Ever watched your teen study and thought, why is this taking so long? Or seen them get frustrated with homework and felt the urge to step in? Here's the truth. That moment of struggle might be the best part of the learning process. Welcome to How Learning Works, where we unpack the science behind how your child learns best and how you can support them along the way. Today, we're challenging a common myth that if learning feels hard, something must be wrong. Let's start with a reality check. Most of us grew up thinking that smart means fast, easy, and effortless, that the best students just got it. But research tells us a different story. The best learning often feels effortful. That feeling of effort, it's not a sign of failure, it's a signal of growth. Scientists call this desirable difficulty. When your child is struggling to recall something or working through a tough concept or trying to explain it in their own words, it feels slow, it feels uncomfortable, but it leads to deeper, more lasting learning. Let's put it in familiar terms. It's like strength training. If your teen wants to build muscle, they can't lift the same light weight over and over. They need progressive overload. That's the process of gradually increasing the challenge. More weight, more reps, more resistance. That's what forces the body to adapt and grow stronger. The same is true for the brain. When your child tackles something just beyond their comfort zone, their brain is rewiring itself to meet the challenge. This is called a fancy term, neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to change and grow based on experience. And during the teenage years, that process is happening faster than at almost any other time in life. So, when learning feels hard, that's not a red flag, that's the brain at work. Here's where it gets tricky. When we see our kids struggling, we want to help. We want to reassure, and we want to make it easier. And sometimes we should, but not too soon. Because when we remove the struggle, we also remove the growth. Here's what struggle looks like in action. Your teen is rereading notes, highlighting textbooks, watching the same video again and again. It feels like studying, but it's mostly just familiarity. They recognize the material, but they haven't reconstructed it. It's called the fluency illusion. It's the false confidence that comes from passive review. It feels like progress until test day, when the brain draws a blank. The real magic happens during retrieval. When your child tries to recall something from memory, even if they get it wrong, that's when the brain is working the hardest. And that effort strengthens the memory. Think of it like blazing a trail through the woods. The first time through, slow, frustrating. But the more you walk it, the clearer the path becomes. That's what struggle does inside the brain. It clears a path. And here's how you can help. First, reframe the discomfort. When they say, "This is hard," try, "That's a good sign." Your brain is growing. It sounds simple, but it changes the meaning of the struggle. Second, encourage active strategies. Ask, "Can you explain this in your own words, or can you teach it to me?" If they stumble, that's good. That's where the learning happens. Third, normalize persistence. Say things like, "What part is giving you trouble? What do you already know?" Or, "What is your first step?" These questions build what's called metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. It's a critical skill for long-term success. And don't forget, your teen's brain is still developing. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning, focus, and regulation, is still under construction. So when they feel overwhelmed or avoid hard work, it's not always laziness. It's a developing brain doing its best. And one more myth we need to break. Speed doesn't equal intelligence. We love to praise students for being fast, but fast doesn't always mean deep. Some of the most successful learners take their time. They wrestle with the material, and that makes it stick. It's called productive struggle. When students experience it regularly with support, they build real confidence, not based off grades or raw talent, but on the belief that they can handle hard things. So what happens when we rescue too early? When we jump in with the answer before they've had a chance to try, we accidentally rob them of that struggle and the growth it brings. It's not that we shouldn't help, but timing matters. Let them wrestle. Let them explain. Then step in after they've had time to think. Try saying, "What could you try next?" Or, "How would you explain this to a friend?" Sometimes asking the question does more than giving the answer. Let's bring it together. Here's your formula. Struggle plus support plus strategy equals learning that lasts. Struggle signals the brain to build, support gives them space to try, and strategy, like retrieval and explanation, makes it stick. So if it feels hard, good. That means the learning is real. In our next episode, we'll show you how retrieval practice turns that struggle into success and why it's the most effective study strategy researchers have ever discovered. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more science-backed tips to help your teen learn smarter, not just harder. And if this was helpful, share it with another parent. We're in this together, learning how to help our kids one insight at a time.